Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Lydia Bracken. I'm the Assistant Dean for Equality, Diversity and Inclusion in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences at the University of Limerick. And I'm also Course Director for the Graduate Certificate and Diploma in Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. In this short recording, I will introduce the two programmes and provide some key information. This information can also be accessed on the programme webpage. The Graduate Certificate and Diploma in Equality, Diversity and Inclusion are designed for learners who wish to develop an interdisciplinary understanding of equality, diversity and inclusion and to explore strategies for change. The programmes are delivered by lecturers from across the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences at the University of Limerick. This allows learners to engage in interdisciplinary, research-led teaching with experts in diverse fields including law, sociology and linguistics as part of the certificate, and law, public administration and psychology as part of the diploma. In this recording, I will provide an overview of both of the programmes. That will involve also a discussion of the content and structure of each of the programmes. I will also discuss the entry requirements, and I'll end with some further contact details. So as mentioned, both the Certificate and Diploma in Equality, Diversity and Inclusion are interdisciplinary programmes. So as part of the certificate, you would be studying modules from law, sociology and linguistics, which is housed in the Department of Modern Languages and Applied Linguistics here at the University of Limerick. And if you proceed to the Diploma in Equality, Diversity and Inclusion, you'll be studying modules from law, public administration and psychology. The Graduate Certificate in Equality, Diversity and Inclusion is a one-year part-time programme. It is delivered online, so all of your modules would take place using our virtual learning environments, and you would not be required to attend campus for any lectures. On the certificate, there are 5 modules, which are shown on the current slide. 2 modules are taken in the autumn and then 3 in the spring. The certificate itself is a level 9 qualification, and if you successfully complete all 5 modules, you will graduate with 33 credits. So you can see the modules listed on the current slide. In the autumn, as I mentioned, there are 2 modules, which are Equality and Diversity in the Workplace and Language and Inclusion in Organisations. And then in the spring, the modules are Postgraduate Human Rights Law, Inequality and Social Exclusion, and Equality in Practice. And I will discuss each of those modules in detail in just a moment. The Graduate Diploma in Equality, Diversity and Inclusion is then a more advanced programme. So this is a 2-year part-time programme. Again, it's delivered online, so you're not required to come to the campus for any lectures. But there are an increased number of modules, so there are 8 modules as part of the diploma. In year 1, you will study the same 5 modules that I just mentioned as part of the graduate certificate. So year 1 on both programs is exactly the same. The difference then occurs in year 2. So after completing the 5 modules as part of year 1, students who are enrolled on the graduate diploma then progress to year 2, where they will study a further 3 modules. The graduate diploma is also a level 9 qualification, but you can see you have obviously more modules, which means that you will then graduate with more credits. So it is a more advanced qualification, as I mentioned. So in terms of the structure, so year 1 is exactly the same as the graduate certificate, and you'll be in the same classes as students who are enrolled on the graduate certificate. And then you will progress to year 2, where you can see there are 3 modules to be completed. So in the autumn, you'll study a module called Law and Justice. And then in the spring of year 2, you would study Collaborative Governance and Leadership, and also intercultural competence, knowledge and skills. Again, I'll talk through each of the modules in just a moment. Just to note at this point that you do need to specify when you're applying for the programme, whether you want to apply for the graduate certificate or for the graduate diploma. Okay, details on how you do this are on the program webpage, and essentially we want you to specify in the supporting statement, which must accompany your application, which of the two programs you want to apply for. So now I'll briefly discuss each of the modules that you will be studying as part of both the certificate and the diploma. So you can see the title of the module at the top of the page, and I've also indicated whether it's a certificate module or a diploma module. And bear in mind that year one of the diploma is the same as the certificate. So if you're studying on the diploma, you would be studying all of the modules that I'm going to talk about. So the first module that I'll mention is LA 5071, Equality and Diversity in the Workplace. The aim of the module is to introduce students to contemporary issues in workplace equality and diversity, and the legal duties and/or best practice requirements on employers to secure equality, diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Okay, so again, it's an online module. The program itself is fully online, so that should be no surprise at this stage. It's worth 6 credits, and it's delivered by the School of Law. So you'll be studying topics such as an introduction to the Irish legal system. So we don't expect that you would have previously studied law. If you haven't, you'll be able to take the module without difficulty, as you will be given that introduction. There'll also be an introduction to Irish employment law, which is a specific branch of the legal system, employment equality legislation, and so on. So the module will help you to understand equality throughout the employment cycle and to comprehend the legal duties that are placed in organisations to promote equality, diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Another module that's studied in the autumn of the year one of the programme is Language and Inclusion in Organisations. So the aim of this module is to heighten students' awareness of the role that language plays in perpetuating exclusion, and also the role it can play in promoting inclusion. Okay, so this is another 6 credit module, and it's delivered by the School of Modern Languages and Applied Linguistics. As part of the module, students will learn about a variety of different aspects of language inclusion, including language ideologies and critical discourse analysis, why and when language matters, the politics of language, the myth of political correctness, linguistic diversity, and so on. In the spring of year one, so the spring of the certificate, you will also study postgraduate human rights law online. So the aim, as the title suggests, is on human rights, and it aims to provide students with an understanding of the workings and jurisprudence of the European Convention on Human Rights. So that is a European agreement that safeguards human rights at European level, and so that will obviously have effects then at international level, but also at domestic level too. It's a slightly more advanced module, so it's a 9 credit module, and it is delivered by the School of Law. Also in the spring, you'll study Inequality and Social Exclusion. So this module is delivered by the Department of Sociology. The aim of the module is to introduce students to the dynamics and processes that are implicit to inequality and social exclusion. Upon completion of the module, you will be able to define inequality and social exclusion, and you will have gained an insight into the implication of the conceptualization of inequality and key concepts related to social exclusion and inequality. And the final module that will be studied as part of the certificate or as part of year one of the diploma is Equality in Practice. And the aim of this module is to introduce students to practical issues that arise in advancing equality, diversity and inclusion, and the impact these issues have on communities and professional organisations. Again, it's an online module worth 6 credits, and it's delivered by the School of Law, but very much in collaboration with other departments, given the nature of the subject matter. As part of the module, case studies will be used to give students a real appreciation of the importance of equality, diversity and inclusion, and the impact that supportive policies can have on organisational structure. Also, as part of this, students will have the opportunity to interact with leaders who have championed change in their own professional context. So if you were taking the certificate after completion of these 5 modules, you would be set for graduation. If you were taking the diploma after completion of these 5 modules, you then progress to year 2 of the program, which entails a further 3 modules, which I will discuss now. So the first module you would study as part of the diploma in the autumn is Law and Justice. And this module explores legal theory and philosophy as they relate to ideas of justice and equality, and it explores the links between those two concepts. Again, online module, it is slightly more advanced than what you would have been studying as part of the certificate, in that it's a 9-credit module compared to most of the modules on the certificate would be 6 credits, and it is delivered by the School of Law. In the spring, as part of the diploma, you would also study collaborative governance and leadership. This module focuses on themes of, as you guessed it, collaborative governance and leadership in the context of public administration, but also beyond that. This is a module that is delivered by the Department of Politics and Public Administration. And the final module that you'll study as part of the diploma is Intercultural Competence, Knowledge and Skills. So this module will equip participants with knowledge and skills to manage situations where cultural differences may be seen as barriers to successful work, integration and interpersonal relationships. So as part of this, you will learn about psychological models and practice skills that will help you to understand how intercultural competence develops, including changes at the cognitive level, so that's in our knowledge and beliefs about others, at the emotional level, so in how comfortable and confident we become around difference, and at the behavioural level, so how we can work in diverse teams and bridge differences of opinions. So given that this is focused on psychological models, you might have guessed that it is delivered by the Department of Psychology. For the entry requirements, these are again specified on the programme webpage, and I've included them here for convenience. So applicants must normally have a first or second class level 8 honours degree, so you do need an undergraduate degree as your basis coming into this programme, in a relevant or appropriate subject or equivalent prior learning that is recognised by the university as meeting this requirement. So in some cases where you don't have that undergraduate basis, your experience and prior learning in other areas may be sufficient to make you eligible for a place on the programme. Again, details are available on the webpage, and you can also contact me about that if you feel you fit into that latter requirement. Applicants must also satisfy English language requirements of the university, again specified on the webpage, and the university reserves the right to shortlist and interview applicants as deemed necessary. So please do see the programme webpage for further information about the entry requirements, but also what to upload with your application, so you can gather that information together before you begin your online application. So further details are available on the programme webpage, which is accessible through the link which is on the current slide. And if you have any further queries, please feel free to get in touch with me as the programme director. My email address again is listed on the current slide. It is lydia.bracken@ul.ie. Thank you very much for your time.